I'm curious, what dream do you have? What goal have you been procrastinating on? What's something that you've been holding back on that you know that you should be doing? You keep saying when the time is right, one day I'll do it. The truth is, time is the most precious commodity that we have. You can't buy it. If you don't take action now, when? If not you, then who? Is it going to be one day, or are you going to start today?
I'm Luke, and you're listening to the Luke Mind Power Podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode on the Luke Mind Power Podcast. It's another Maybach motivation. I'm in the back of a Mercedes S600 V12 Maybach, freaking powerful, amazing car. But I talked to you guys about this before. It is the energy of this vehicle that is so freaking powerful. But I'm going to be talking about so many different things today. And it's funny that I speak about what I'm going to be talking about, because a lot of my work that I do with you guys is very intuitive, right? I have never once, and this is an interesting fact so you get to know me a little bit better, I've never once actually sat down and gone, okay, today I'm going to talk about this, and this. And I know some recent episode I actually did because I read a review from someone who left me a review on my podcast, on Apple Podcasts. And then I talked about that, right? And then there was another episode that I did where I was actually responding to people's questions. I went on TikTok and I was like, guys, what do you want me to talk about on the podcast? Let me know. And I wrote down 10 different questions, and then I responded and I answered you guys. And by the way, if you do listen on Apple Podcast or on Spotify, please do me a massive favor and leave me a 5-star rating and a review. It helps me so much to let those platforms know that, the Luke Mind Power Podcast is the #1 motivational podcast in the world, and it gives it out to more people as well. So I really appreciate that. Same thing if you're watching on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the red subscribe button and hit that like button as well. And share this with your friends. There's nothing better than sharing positive energy, especially when we're living in such a negative world. And our own relationships with ourselves, this is one of the major problems, that we have so much insecurities and low self-esteem. We're not empowered to be our true authentic self and have that confidence. And so we are losing ourselves into social media, into the news, the TV, what's happening. We're comparing ourselves with other people, and therefore we're not feeling good within ourselves, right? And that's why having that strong relationship with yourself, loving yourself and building that connection with yourself is so paramount to you really being aware of what's happening around you, so that you're not being infiltrated and influenced in a negative way to take you away from who it is that you truly are, your core of your authenticity, that's why I say your authenticity is your freedom, right? For you to be yourself in a world that, is pushing you to be a specific way, to think a specific way, to believe a specific way, to look a specific way, to dress a specific way. It's your responsibility to go, nah, man, who am I really? And I got to tell you that solitude has helped me so much with that. But before I go any further, guys, so you're aware, because, maybe you're not. And I want to give you just a little bit of insight of what I'm doing. So, at the moment I'm in Dubai. By the time you watch this, I would have already spoken at Prana House. In Dubai, it's a health and wellness center where they do meditation, yoga, coaching. And so I created these events. Actually, this is what I manifested, because they actually reached out to me. I went and met these amazing women that are running this wellness center. And I was like, hey guys, look, I want to grow more. I want to get my message out there. I want to speak in front of people. I really want to level up as well with my own self-confidence and delivery. So I'm super pumped because, like I said, by the time you watch this, I would have already done it, which is going to be phenomenal, because every time you do something that's out of your comfort zone, that helps you to raise your level of consciousness. And what I mean by that is that when you go through an experience that's unfamiliar, or it's not something that you're competent in because you haven't done it enough, then all of a sudden you go through the experience and mentally you program your mind to realize that, oh my God, I did that. Wow. Okay, so now that I did that, wow, I can do it again. So you're proving to yourself that you're good enough, and you're also programming your mind in a positive way where you build diligence of being able to do just that. So because of my events, and you'll have in the show notes below, guys, whatever platform you're on, or you can even go onto my website, lukemindpower.com/home. And you can go to live events, and you'll be able to buy tickets for the Laguna Beach event that I have, that I'm going to be speaking at with Suzanne Adams. And if you want to know more about who she is, because you're like, who's Suzanne Adams? Man, type it in on YouTube. You'll find her. She's got a TEDx speech that she did, has over 4 million or something like that views, which is really powerful. And she's wearing a red dress. So check her out, because I'm doing an event with her in Laguna Beach on the 28th and 29th of September. And it's going to be freaking phenomenal. And, you know, for me to do events, you know, I just want you guys to know, if you're going to come to one of my events where I'm going to be speaking, or I'm going to be hosting these events myself, you just need to understand that it is going to be a party. Okay. If you watch my content, you know, you see I've got a sense of humor. I do a bit of comedy with that character, Hans. I'm dancing all the time, right? So if you just put two and two together, don't think that you're going to come to a Luke Mindpower speaking event and there's not going to be a party. We're not going to be dancing. We're not going to be having a good time. You know what I mean? This is the whole purpose of, you know, raising our vibration. And you know what? This is the one of the biggest challenges for many people, is to just be able to be yourself. We're afraid to, like, dance, for example. That's something that's just so simple. But to dance in front of people, to dance like no one's watching, this is one of the secrets to, like, my success. You know, it's like I dance. I get out there, I fucking do it. And it works. Like, people connect, it engages with people. And this is such a powerful form of self-expression, you know? So that's what I'm incorporating into my live events, because I want everyone to have a good time, want to party, want to have a good time, want to listen to music and raise that vibration, that positive energy, you know? So I'm looking forward to these events. There's also another event coming up in October in Atlanta, Georgia, which I haven't released tickets for yet, but that's going to be freaking powerful as well. Every event I do is going to be ridiculously extraordinary. And I invite you to come if you are in the location, if you can make it. Okay, there will be live stream access, but also, depending on when you're watching this, you're probably going to miss out on the early bird tickets. But nevertheless, click the link in the show notes in the description below this video, and you will find tickets to the Quantum Success Leadership Summit with Suzanne Adams, myself. There's another speaker as well. But it's a 2-day event. It's a maximum of 200 people. So we're pretty much nearly sold out. So you want to make sure you get in as soon as possible if you want to join us live at Laguna Beach in California, 28th to 29th of September, or you can join via live stream, okay? And you'll have access up to 30 days. Even if you can't watch it on the night or the day, for the 2 days, you'll be able to have access for the live streaming of that event as well. And the links are in the show notes below, or you can go on my website, go to live events, lukemindpower.com/home. You'll see that there's a tab that says live events, and you'll be able to buy live stream tickets or the live event tickets in person, okay? But again, this is all part of the manifestation. You know, I used to have so much fear about public speaking, about getting up in front of people. I'm preparing for this event mentally, emotionally, like I'm ready for this journey, okay? And I'm ready to do this event. Have I sat down and gone, what am I going to talk about? Actually, no. Maybe I'm going to have to learn the hard way. You know, maybe I'm going to have to get up in front of people and go, fuck, what am I saying? You know, but the thing is, when I say that when you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail, the truth is I haven't failed to prepare, because I have been coaching virtually for the last 2.5 years, every freaking week. Like, I'm showing up and I don't have a script. I just press the freaking thing. All my clients join my Zoom. We've got, you know, heaps of people on Zoom, and all I do is speak, and I do my thing, and I speak and I share and I be myself, and I share my stories and inspiration and motivation, and I do my thing. So that's why I'm just like, I don't even need to worry. I've been practicing this for 2.5 years. I don't need to sit there and go, oh my gosh, I'm going to get in front of people. What am I going to say? You know, it's like this podcast. That's what I'm saying. Like, your ability to practice and practice and practice. Repetition is the mother of skill. Keep doing something and you get really good at it. Driving. Once upon a time, you didn't have your license. You didn't know how to fucking drive. All of a sudden, you learned it. Now you do it unconsciously. Unconscious competence, where you don't even have to think about it. Like, tell me, seriously, how many times have you had a moment where you've been driving and you completely forgot that you were driving? And 20 minutes later, you look and you think, shit, how did I get to where I am? I didn't even realize. You're on autopilot. That's the power of your mind. Unconscious competence, where you are just doing it because it's so programmed into your psyche, your psychology, your mind, that you just do it Pretty amazing, which is the same thing as what I'm doing with this speaking, right? I've been doing it over and over and over and over and over again for the last 5 years, and look at me now. And it's the same thing for you, okay? If you want to get good at something, you've got to take action. You've got to take action. You've got to start doing shit, because if you don't start getting better at something, it's the same thing with business. I've learned myself with business, it's like you can have this fear of failure. I don't know if it's going to work, this and that. But the truth is, if you don't do it, you'll never learn. If you don't fail, you won't be able to learn from the mistakes and do it better next time. Relationships, same thing. If you're not willing to take the risk and go into a relationship, you'll never learn about yourself, and you'll never learn what to not want to experience in the future and what you need to learn from. Because people do really teach you what you don't want to experience in the future. This is one of the best things about relationships. But I know that when you get broken, hurt, traumatized, fucked over in a relationship, guess what? That basically deters you from being open to wanting to be in another relationship. Because especially if it happens once or twice or three, not once, fucking 2, 3, 4 times. If it happens once, you still go back into another. But if it happens twice, 3 times, 4 times, all of a sudden you've got this armor up. You got this guard up, because you're like, oh my gosh, your defense mechanism is up because you don't want to be hurt again. That's why I say that's okay to be there, because you know what? That's your calling and your sign to reflect, to heal, to grow, to become a better version of yourself, to become self-aware of the negative experiences that you went through in a relationship, so that, because basically what a toxic relationship and a negative experience in a relationship or whatever happened in your life, it's basically giving you the answers of what you don't want to experience in the future and what to look out for. So, you know, all these kind of experiences in our life are all blessings. We just have to change the way that we think, because when we change the way that we think, it changes. But if you don't change the way you think, you'll keep thinking the same, which keeps giving you the same results, which keeps you attracting the same shit into your life. Can you feel my flow? This is like divine intelligence. I don't even know how I'm fucking speaking like this. It's just coming, right? It's part of self-love. It's part of you being truly connected to your divine self, to the true energy that you have within yourself, to the source, whatever you want to call it. And then it's confidence, and it's allowing yourself to be. You know, this is obviously, I have a gift. I know that I have a gift. I'm not oblivious to that, and I don't need to sit here and think that I am better than anybody else. I'm just being Luke. I'm being Luke Mindpower. You know, and I'm owning that, right? Because we all have a purpose, and it's important for you to take the time to discover your purpose. And one of my clients, her name's Robin, and I saw she posted a video on TikTok, which was absolutely amazing. And she was talking about finding your purpose. She's like, how do you find your purpose? She goes, well, first you need to find yourself. She's like, first you need to find yourself. You need to discover who you are. You need to do some work on yourself, personal development, personal growth. You know, in order for you to attract abundance, you have to live in an abundant manner. You have to think abundantly. You have to feel that I deserve this, right? I'm good enough for this. And that's part of your self-worth. And how do you grow self-worth? This is very, very important, because in order for you to grow self-worth, you've got to go through a freaking purpose, and you've got to grow and evolve and become that better version of yourself in order for you to feel worthy. And once you establish that, bro, you are unstoppable. And I'm talking to you females as well. I'm not, just because I say bro doesn't mean I'm not talking to you. I'm not just talking to the blokes. I'm talking to everyone. This is just my expression. Okay. But yeah, guys, this is a major, major key. Like, you want to understand the power of what you have within yourself. And I didn't understand this for so many years, but it took me a little bit of time, and now I'm here. And so I can't help it but to expand. This is what the purpose of life is, to grow. My dad said this. I said, Dad, we're walking on the street, going for a walk one time when I was at my parents' house. And I said, Dad, what is the purpose of life? And he said, the purpose of life is to grow. So simple. And I was like, wow. I was like, so if you're not growing, what are you doing? And that's why I truly believe that one of the causes of depression is the fact that we're stagnant. We're not making progress. You know, Tony Robbins says progress equals happiness. And I got to say, he's right. You know, all I do every day is take action. This is me taking action, being on this video and on this podcast with you, taking action, growing, speaking, expressing. And also, a part of my healing journey as well has been me expressing myself, speaking my truth. The more that I speak my truth, the more that I express, the more I don't suppress, which is healing because, right, if you're not speaking it, you're storing it, and that shit gets heavy. And a lot of us, because we don't like to talk about emotions, feelings, and what's really deep within ourselves, we carry that trauma, that negative energy. And, you know, eventually that negative energy can have a negative impact on your health, and it will cause you to get sick. That's why it's so important. Your health is your wealth, you know, and it takes a little bit of time to go through life and to experience life and to realize that, you know, your health is really, really important. Without it, you can't function. You know, you can end up in hospital unwell and no amount of money is going to save you. But again, it's always life lessons. You know, you always hear it from people and you're just like, yeah, I know. And then you still go and take drugs, you still go and drink, you still go and treat your body like shit, you still don't exercise, you still eat shit food. And then it's only when you get unwell that all of a sudden you wake up. And sometimes we just need those wake up calls, you know what I mean? And that's why it's not about being perfect. You can see so many people on social media and living the perfect life, and it kind of like, it almost thinks like, it can almost make you feel like it's impossible to achieve that, you know? But the truth is, you know, having a healthy lifestyle, a good physique, you know, being successful, it's a lot of work, you know, it really is. It is a lot of work, and it's just up to you, you know, to decide, you know, one day or day one. I heard a video that was The Rock speaking, and he goes, here's one for you. And he said, you know, day one or one day or day one. So yeah, it's like, I'm curious, like if you're watching or listening right now, if you're on YouTube, for example, I'm curious, what dream do you have? What goal have you been procrastinating on? What's something that you've been holding back on that you know that you should be doing? Because really the truth is right now is that you keep saying, you know, when the time is right, one day I'll do it, right? The truth is time is the most precious commodity that we have. You can't buy it. If you don't take action now, when? If not now, when? If not you, then who? And so this is one of the major keys to your success is I want you to write in the comments, is it going to be one day or are you going to start today? When is it going to happen for you? And this is a really powerful moment in your life right now because, you know, it's 2023, and what I've been doing with my clients on my group coaching and then with my private clients as well is I'm like focusing on the next 6 months. So focusing on the rest of July, August, September, October, November, December, which is 6 months, less than 6 months. And I'm like, what do you want to achieve by the end of this year? Like write in the comments if you can. If you're watching on YouTube, I know if you can't if you're on Apple Podcasts, but you can write it down on a piece of paper. If you're on Spotify or any other platform, write it down on a piece of paper. But if you're on YouTube, write in the comments, what do you want to achieve by the end of this year? Like write it down. Write it down. Because what you write down is so powerful because your mind focuses on that. And that's a really massive part of manifestation. So write it down because I am going to be checking in with you continuously because I am on a mission. You know, and by the end of this year, I'm going to be fully booked. That's one of my manifestations. I'm going to have so many people reaching out to me saying, Luke, we want you on the stage. You know, that's why I'm doing these events in Dubai as well and in Laguna Beach and in Atlanta, because there's going to be so much video content that I'm going to be putting out there of me speaking in front of people that once that happens, it's just going to come like an avalanche. There's going to be so many people, and I believe it and I know it. It's just going to be a part of my next level of success. So many people are going to be reaching out to me. They're going to be, Luke, we want you to speak on our stage. We want you to speak at our event. It's inevitable. I've been working hard for this. I've been showing up. I've been diligent. I've been consistent with my content, with everything that I put out on social media. And, you know, the one thing that I want you to be reminded of is success requires patience. Like write it down in the comments right now, right? Success requires patience. You have to understand this. And I know that patience is a concept that we struggle with because we want that success. We want that next level. We want that new apartment. We want that car. We want that watch. We want that relationship. Whatever it is that you want, we always want what we can't have. We want it straight away. We're not willing to wait. We're not willing to trust the process, have faith in the process, be consistent, show up, not give up on ourselves. But this is the challenge. And if you can have patience in the process, if you can persevere, if you can not give up, man, you're going to be successful. Simple as that. You know, the universe, God cannot deny someone who just continues to put out good energy, continues to be doing the right thing, especially be mindful. You know, everyone, we all have a conscience, and you know yourself whether or not you're doing the right thing. And when you do more of the right thing, the more of the right things come back to you. And that's what you're also focusing on. It's your reticular activating system of your mind. What you focus on expands. And that's why gratitude is a major key, because when you practice gratitude and you practice being grateful for the things that you have, you attract more of that into your life, right? I want you to think about when you buy a new car, all of a sudden you tend to see, like you buy a Honda, for example, all of a sudden you start seeing that Honda everywhere. Why is that happening? It's like it's your reticular activating system of your mind, because now you're focusing your attention on that. And what you focus on expands. And so you then start seeing it everywhere. And you're like, oh my gosh, there's another one. There's another one. There's another one. But before, why wasn't it there? Because you wasn't focusing on it. And that is the power of your mind. What you focus on expands. And so it's very, very important that you focus on what you want, because what you want also wants you. It's like that quote by Rumi. What you seek is seeking you. And what you move forward towards is also going to come closer to you. And so this is my work over the last 5.5 years now, that I'm getting to this like higher frequency, higher level of audience. More people are following me. My content is getting out to more people. Everything is expanding. And a lot of people are looking. I know, like there's a lot of people that are already watching me, and they're like, let's see if because like, for example, there's a Dr. Julie. She's a psychologist from the UK. She followed me in 2020. And she has grown exponentially, like ridiculous. She's got 1.5 million on Instagram. She's got 3.2 million on TikTok. But when I met her, she had nothing. And she has been consistent. She has created this amazing content all the time. And she explains things in such an amazing way, because she uses different like instruments and like examples to help people to understand psychology. And I actually sent her a message, because I was like, you know, congratulations on your success and consistency. It's amazing to watch you grow. I look back at our chat, and we spoke like 3 years ago, back in 2020, you know, and she sent me a message and she's like, yeah, keep up the great work. But this is when she was like tiny, you know, and I've seen now she's been on the Diary of a CEO podcast. So she's like been with some big people, you know. But again, no comparing. I'm just freaking congratulating her. I'm excited for her. I'm happy for her, you know, because I know the process of what I've had to be through and go through myself, that it is a journey of consistency. It's a journey of perseverance. It's a journey of not giving up. It's a journey of creating content. It's a journey of putting yourself out there. It's a journey of being seen. You know, this is one of the things that we struggle with so much is, you know, we're afraid to be seen. We're afraid to show up and be our true, authentic self and allow people to judge us. Like, and this is I think it's liberating. You know, I think it's really cool that I can be sitting here in this car, people can be looking around, looking at me. I can be on social media. People can be looking at me, judging me, listening to me, whatever. But I don't care. You know, I know that I'm a force for good. I know that I'm putting out good energy out there. I know that people are resonating with my work and what I'm talking about. I know that I have value, and, you know, the right people gravitate towards you. And the truth is, I'm not for everyone. That's the truth. I understand that there's some people out there don't like the way I speak. Understand that some people don't resonate with my energy and how I communicate. Sometimes people don't like the way that I swear sometimes on my podcast, because even when I've got the mic in front of me, there's this like different energy. I'm just like furious. And not to say that I'm different right now, because yeah, this is a kind of different energy. I feel a little bit more like kind of mellow, but I'm still in my flow. But when I've got that microphone there, it's almost like I'm just like really punching you in the face in a positive way to say, wake the fuck up, man. You know, stop allowing toxic shit in your life. Stop not setting healthy boundaries with people. Stop letting people walk all over you, and you stand up for yourself. And the reason why I come from that perspective is because I never stood up for myself. I was always in my own way. I never believed in myself. I always doubted my ability. I always felt like I wasn't good enough. And yeah, there was a lot of circumstances that I went through in my life with relationships and my own physical appearance. I never could accept my body for how it was. I would always judge myself. I'd look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I don't have my ass is not big enough. So because my ass is not big enough, I feel like, you know, there should be this shape to your body. And if it's not like other people, I would compare myself to other people. Their bodies are proportioned or all this kind of shit. But it's the way that society programs your mind to make you think that this is the right way. And if you're not like that, then you're not good enough. So that was a big thing for me, because being lanky and skinny and lean for so many years, even through my 20s, I was so insecure. It also went back to experiences with my mum, and don't leave the table until you've finished your food, and even people saying, eat some more food, you're too skinny, you're too lanky, this and that. And it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like I would eat and I wouldn't put on weight. And it's funny, I was talking to my personal trainer today, and I just came back from Poland and a visit with my cousins and stuff, and all we did was eat and drink, vodka, beer, eating beautiful food. I love Polish food, and it was so great to be there and be in that energy and that culture. But the one thing that I noticed, I just come back to the gym and I'm like, man, I'm blessed. Like, I can eat so much and I don't put on weight. I'm so grateful. Like, here I was complaining for so many years that I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to put on weight. I want to be fatter, and I can't. It's not working. What's wrong? Now I'm just like, man, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for my digestive system. I'm grateful how my stomach works. I'm grateful that I can eat whatever I want and I don't get fat. Like, I don't put on weight, but everyone's different. We still have our own insecurities. We still have our own struggles, and there's in no way, shape or form am I judging anyone who's overweight or who's, fatter than I am or whatever. This is about your challenge in your life, and we all have to go through stuff, whether it's me and my insecurities about being lean. Some people that are heavier would say, oh my God, I wish I was skinny. I wish I didn't have all this weight on, you know what I mean? So again, everybody's dealing with their own challenges, their own insecurities, their own struggles, And I got to say that, I also have challenges, right? I also have so many things I'm dealing with, and I'm not any different to you, right? Just because I do what I do doesn't mean that my life is all perfect and everything is just amazing and I don't have any challenges. Absolutely not. I've got assignments, projects, I've got deadlines, I've got emails, I've got, working with my team, my leadership team, my coaches, I've got so much, all my clients, I've got my family, I've got cousins, I've got friends, I've got things that I have to deal with all the time, So I just hope that you guys can relate to me in this sense, because I'm not covering anything up, And I think that a lot of people on social media, they do a really good job in showing up in a way that kind of like presents this perfect life. And I know you can say perfection does exist, but I beg to differ that it's not about being perfect. It's just about making progress. It's about trying. It's about being okay to fail. It's about owning your true authenticity. It's about being able to look at yourself in the mirror and going, you are not like anybody else. You are unique. You are different. You are amazing. And I'm going to do my responsibility. I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to take responsibility for my life of who I am, physical appearance and internal energy of who I truly am, my true essence. And I'm going to love me. I'm going to love me for what I look like. I'm going to love me for how I am. And I'm not going to allow the world to let me think that I'm not good enough because I don't look a specific way. And I think that's where your true power comes from. Because again, what's society most of the time they do? I was at the gym this morning and I was judging someone. I was looking at her and I was judging her, literally. And then after I walked away and I was like, bro, you don't have a clue who the fuck she is. She's probably some fucking successful entrepreneur, amazing woman. You've never spoken to her in your life and you're judging who she is. And this is just my own self-awareness. I learned this when I was living in the Shaolin Temple. There was always new people, new students coming in every week. And once I was living there, it was like a dog, the dog in the backyard is protecting the environment, protecting the backyard. It doesn't want to let anyone in. So anyone who comes close to the fence is going to bark. It's going to go, roar, and it's not going to want anyone to come into its environment. So I was like that when I was living in the Shaolin Temple. But what that taught me, every time a new person came in, I would look them up and down. I would judge their physical appearance. Guess what? Never met them in my life, don't know their story, don't know who they are. And that's what we are programmed to do. We judge each other based off face value, which is very, very toxic because we all have a story, we all have challenges, we all have stuff we've been through. And I bet you 99.9% of the times, everyone you're judging, if you heard their story, you'd have more love, more compassion for them. And you'd be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. And this is one of the keys to your inner peace as well and your level of self-awareness in your life is that the deeper that you go with your own trauma, your own healing, your own transformation, the deeper that you're able to then have that self-awareness for other people. This is the power that you can have simply because you work on yourself. And when you have self-compassion, self-love, that deeper rooted connection with yourself, what does that mean? It means that you're able to now give the love because you have the love. You've heard me say this many times on my podcast, that you can't give what you don't have. The reason why we give love and we think we have love is because we yearn for love. We want validation. We want to feel accepted. We want to feel part of something. So that's why we people please a lot. And we're doing a lot of things for other people, giving a lot of love to other people, wanting to love other people because we want to feel accepted. Now, let me remind you, that is called codependency. Unconscious codependency that you're not aware of because you just want to fit in. The one person that you need to fit in with and accept is yourself. And this is one of the major keys to your inner peace and healing, is that you do not need to fit in. You don't need other people's acceptance. You need to accept yourself. The moment that you start accepting yourself and validating yourself and not being dependent on something outside of yourself to make you feel like you are good enough, right? Because sometimes we go and we people please. We do things for others to make us feel like we're good enough, like we are worthy of friendships and people like us because of the things that we do. You need to like you because of the things that you do for yourself. But we yearn for love, we yearn for attention, we yearn to feel connection. And so unconsciously, unknowingly, if you've been abandoned, if you've been through some specific negative experiences or rejection in your childhood or in relationships, now what are you yearning for? What are you seeking? I want to feel loved. I want to feel validated. I want people to accept me. And all that is teaching you is that you don't accept yourself because you need other people's validation. And that was a real big epiphany moment for me as well, because I remember when I was growing and just before I started my 20-week Superpower Mastermind coaching program, is that I had to go through a lot of healing myself. And one of those healing journeys was that I had to accept and love myself and validate myself and let go of the expectation of other people, family included, my mother specifically, validating me to let me know that I'm enough. And literally, this was the pinnacle moment where everything changed in my life. Because all of a sudden, I was in this moment, I was sitting there in the kitchen, and I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I want my mum to support me. I want my mum to love me. I want my mum to believe in what I'm doing, my speaking, and all this content I'm putting out. I want my mum's validation. I want her to tell me that, oh my God, my son, I'm so proud of you. And in that moment, I was like, oh wow, I want her approval. But then I realized I didn't need it. And that was where everything changed, because then I started researching codependency. I went on YouTube. I started learning more about healing my inner child. And then I came across so much information, and then I started practicing that. And so that's where I stepped into this real power of feeling whole and content and complete on my own without something external needing to validate me to make me feel like I'm good enough. So I'm not dependent on anything outside. Very powerful place to be. And that's why I say, guys, if that's where you are in your life, do yourself a favor, invest in your personal development, invest in your healing in order for you to overcome your past so that you can create and manifest the future that you want. You need to let go of it and heal it and release it and remove it, unblock yourself, unfuck yourself. This is what this journey is all about. What I'm teaching you is what you're being programmed and conditioned to become because of your negative experiences, because of your childhood, because of all this shit that happened in the past. If you come and work with me, guess what I'm going to teach you? To unlearn all of that shit so you can step into your true authentic self. Because when you step into the fire of self-discovery, of self-love, it will not burn you. It will only liberate you from everything that you're not. And that is where you activate this center of your energy within yourself that is your true authenticity of you being able to activate a sense of inner peace, which then helps you to be on this high frequency of living and being able to manifest your dreams instead of being controlled by your past. Because if we continue to ruminate on the thoughts of the past, on the insecurities, the doubts, the fears, the suppressed emotions, limiting beliefs, all that stuff, that creates your reality. So many of us are just recycling our thoughts and thinking from the past, which is causing us to not create the future that we want. And hence why I say, heal the past, and you will live in the present moment of consciously and intentionally every single day being the manifester and the creator of your reality. That's the power. So if you want to get started, connect with my Leadership of Success Coaches leadership team. Click the link below the YouTube video that you're watching. It's got my website there. Click the link, book yourself in on a check-in with one of my success coaches, and let's learn if and how we could possibly help you. Because again, I've learned this 5 years ago from Warren Buffett. The biggest investment that you can make in your life is in yourself. But not only that, it's in your personal development and healing. Heal that, because then the other thing that's really important as well is that you then evolve. I tell this to so many people. If you want to attract better in your life, you've got to become a better version of yourself, right? When you overcome your insecurities, you won't attract someone who's insecure, because you know that. It's a familiar pattern. The purpose of you investing in yourself is that you have to live with you for the rest of your life. And the investment that you get out of it, and one of the things that I talked about on my Instagram story recently, is I said, you don't get paid for your time. You get paid for the value that you bring to the marketplace. I learned that from Jim Rohn. I'll say that again. You don't get paid for your time. You get paid for the value that you bring to the marketplace. So what is your value? And let me tell you where the value comes from. It comes from experience. How do you increase your value? It comes from your knowledge, experience, the things that you learn. But it also comes from having superpowered confidence. Because in order for you to take action and get out of your comfort zone and do stuff you've never done before, it takes courage. It takes a community. It takes a coach. It takes having the right environment, right people in your life, right? It takes you having the mental clarity, having the belief in yourself, having worked on your past so that you can have that confidence in yourself to be able to go, no, I can do this. But what I'm talking about is you deserve success. You deserve to live your dreams, not your fears. You deserve to live your best life. You deserve to attract abundance. You deserve to have a lot of money and to be able to have the time, freedom, the things to do what you love, to travel, to create your own business, have your family, have your best freaking life. You deserve that. But if you don't change your belief system on money, for example, because you don't feel worthy, well, this is why you have to change. You have to be open to receive. Right? And you have to start practicing different types of affirmations, like money comes to me easily and flows into my life. I don't reject it. I accept it. I love it because it helps you. It's a tool so that you can live your best life. And so the universe responds to the energy that you put out. So if you're posting 3 pieces of content every single day and you do that consistently, and you're learning and you're doing your research, you can't help but eventually get a viral video. You can't help but eventually it will come back to you. Same thing as with people that are working with me now. They had to show up, they had to give, they had to show up, they had to take action and had to prove themselves to say, you know, I'm worthy of working with Luke. And so it happens. It happens, you know. But I'm always watching, you know. But at the same time, am I where I want to be able to give enough opportunities for as many people? No way. You know, I'm still growing. I'm still becoming better. But I'm very happy to be able to be in a really powerful position where I'm able to give back and be able to create a positive working environment for people, because I believe that that is one area that we lack in life, that there's not enough positive workspace culture. And maybe that's something I'm going to have to do speeches on or workshops in corporate America or corporate wherever, anywhere, corporations, companies, to promote positive workspace culture, because you know, a positive working environment is extraordinary. You know, people actually enjoying their jobs, man, it's the best. Like the fact that I get to do what I love, don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, fucking hell, man, another day. I don't get to Wednesday and go, oh, it's fucking hump day. Yeah, another 2 days till Friday so I can get on the piss and get fucked for the weekend and then go back to work. My driver's looking at me going, fucking, what are you talking about? But that's what most people fucking do. You know, it's like, fucking dreading Monday. It's Sunday afternoon. Like, I used to do this shit. And I did that time and time again, so many freaking years. And that's the life that many people are doing. And I used to be a chauffeur driver. So one thing that I was doing was I was transporting Qantas airline pilots. And all I was witnessing in the morning, especially when I pick them up at 6 a.m., take them to the airport, I'll be on the freeways, on the highways, and I'm witnessing people from like 2.5 hours outside of Sydney traveling to Sydney into the city. 2.5 hours there, or 2 hours, or 1 hour, 1.5. Guess what? They got to do the same journey back, right? So, and the traffic. So it's not 2.5 hours. It's 2.5 hours because it's traffic, right? So you got to leave at 6 a.m. to get to 8 a.m. to get to the city. And so literally, this is how much time you're wasting. And that's why a lot of my success has come from Les Brown motivation on YouTube, because what I started to do when I started doing this work, 2018, end of that, I left my government job, but I still had a chauffeur driver job. So I was doing that for about 6 months or so. And what I was doing, I was learning. So while I was driving to pick up these airline pilots, I was listening to YouTube videos, listening to Les Brown. I was listening and listening and listening and listening. He's like, you got to be hungry. And I'm like, yeah, man, come on. You got comeback power. Like, I used to listen and hear him speak to me every single day. And that's all I would put on every morning. Right? He says that the first 20 minutes of your day is when your mind is the most impressionable. So what you listen to in the first 20 minutes of your day is what affects the spirit of your day. You know, so I would put him on. And so my advice to anybody out there that may be spending a lot of time commuting, even if you're on the train, there's so many people on buses and trains going to work, reading the newspaper and looking at social media, when what you could be doing is you could be learning, getting yourself out of that 9-to-5 grind and being able to create a side hustle or create your own business or something. And again, if you're happy with your 9-to-5, I'm not judging you, but I'm just saying you could be using your time better, because what I did is I started using my time better. And the truth is time is money. You know, time is, like I said, it's precious. You can't get it back. So if you're a driver and you're driving to work and you're spending 2 hours on the way to work and on the way back, think about that. 4 hours a day, 4 times 5 is 20. So let's say you work 5 days a week. 4 hours each day, that's 20 hours. That's a full day, a whole day. And that's a whole day that you could spend that 4 hours there and back learning, listening to. I hope you're doing it with this podcast. I hope that you are listening to this podcast while you're driving to work, because you're like, Luke, I'm doing that, bro. This is exactly what I'm doing. I'm learning from you. And I'm like, yeah, man, this is exactly what I did. In order for me to become who I am today, I was learning while I was driving, because one day I quit that and now I do what I love. I love what I do. I get paid for what I love what I do. I get paid for doing what I love, and I'm living my dream. This is the opportunity that you have. It's an opportunity of a lifetime that you can just take action, work on yourself, be a part of our community and this space, and you will transform your life. And that's all I do every single day. Transform, transform, transform. And it's a life of fulfillment, right? It's a very high vibration. It's a very peaceful place. And that's why your health improves, because you are peaceful. You're not stressed. You're not having panic attacks. You're not unhappy. So my job is to keep doing what I'm doing, keep inspiring you, and in the hope that I get you before it's too late. Before you go down the road 5 years later and go, damn, why didn't I do this 5 years ago? Because I can think back to myself and go, I wonder who I would have been if I'd started this journey like 5 years earlier. You know, but I get it. I had to go through my process. I had to go through pain. I had to go through rejection. I had to go through a lot of stuff in life to be able to be fueled and to not feel enough. I felt like shit. So I had to go through that a lot. And that's why I'm saying for some of you, you have to go through that too. You got to go through not feeling enough. You got to go through being rejected. You got to go through toxic relationships. You got to go through being abused or some sort of negative experience, maybe at work, for you to go, I've had enough. I'm not doing this anymore. I got to change. Something needs to shift. And that's where you put your hand up and you go, I know someone that can fucking help me. And you know the name, Luke Mind Power. That's the truth. But anyway, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm sending so much love to you. Never, ever give up on yourself. Never give up on your dreams. Don't let anyone fucking tell you what you can and cannot achieve. Did you hear what I said? What you can and cannot achieve. Go and look at yourself in the mirror when you finish this podcast and just say, you know what, I'm proud of you for listening to this episode, because this was an investment in yourself. And like I said, the biggest investment that you can make in your life is in your own personal development and healing journey. Okay? So much love, and I will see you on the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and be sure to share it with your friends, because we need to share more positivity and good energy and more self-awareness out there into the world. And I think this is where we're really going with the world at this time. We're evolving, we're all growing, we're all healing, we're all becoming better versions of ourselves. And this is what we're here to do, is to use these platforms of social media for a force of good, to spread good messages and to give more awareness for people to know that, what you've been through is what you've been through, but it's not the end of the road, and you're going to be able to get through it. And I'm here to support you through that. I hope to see you at my live events that I'm going to be doing in Dubai and in California, in Atlanta, and so forth. There's going to be a lot more coming up after that as well. But if you want more details on my live events, there is the show notes, and you can also go on my website, lukemindpower.com/home. Sending you so much love, and I'll catch you soon. Peace out.
Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and growth. If you're ready to grow and reach your full potential and find inner peace, send me a DM that says, I want inner peace, and I'll send you the next steps. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to. When you change your mind, you change your whole life. So don't hesitate and send that DM over to me. Myself and my team can't wait to meet you and witness your transformation in full glory. See you next week.